I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're celebrating the holiday season with a wonderful book. It's called The Christmas Skunk and the Very Merry, Very Stinky Christmas. It's written by a terrific author, one of my favorite guests, Jane Carey. This is a heartwarming and hilarious tale that follows Little Skunk on a wild Christmas adventure, inspired by a true story. The book is perfect for kids and families, and this festive book combines humor, surprises, and the spirit of the Christmas season in an unforgettable way. We're delighted to have this wonderful author join us once again here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Books to Life Marketing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her beautiful book. The links are below this interview. Jane, thank you so much for joining me again today on Spotlight.
My pleasure, Logan.
It's a pleasure to have you back on the show. This is a wonderful book, but I've got to hear the real life, true story behind it because it sounds like a very smelly tale. So why don't you tell us about it a little bit?
Okay. Well, it was a normal day, Christmas. We were preparing for a Christmas meal, and suddenly there's this horrible skunk smell that permeates the whole house. And I looked outside the window, and there's a skunk right outside the window. And he had the sliding glass door. And he had apparently backed into the Christmas tree, which was, we have a huge Christmas tree outside on the patio. And, spooked himself when he backed into it and let loose. And everybody started screaming and holding their noses. And I knew at that moment, while we were still in the midst of all that, this has to be a children's book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You made some lemonade out of the lemons of a skunk serving up a smelly delight on on
Yes.
Christmas.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing. That is quite a story. It almost sounds like something out of a Christmas story. You know, the dogs ate the turkey. In your case, you got bombed by a skunk, and
Yeah.
not fun at all. So that got the creative juices flowing, and
Yes.
you decided to embellish upon the story a little bit and give us an overview of the book, The Christmas Skunk and the Very Merry, Very Stinky Christmas.
Well, what happens after that horrible moment when the skunk releases all that, the dog starts barking in the house because he sees the skunk out there too. And it's a little skunk. And by the way, the story is told from the point of view of Little Skunk, who left his den, even though his mother told him to stay there while she went out to find Christmas dinner for them. But he could smell something wonderful. So he left his den and followed the smell. And it was the dog food. The family had left it outside. Now, I live in California, so it's, we're outside on Christmas and all that. So the dog starts barking. Everyone's screaming and yelling and running out. I had all my family there. They're running out of the guest house, and the dog is screaming, barking. The cat is yowling in the story, and the dog pushes open the door. And that was the skunk's fear. So the skunk is terrified, this little skunk, crying for his mama, runs into a woodpile to hide and thinking, oh, why did I do this? What am I going to do now? And everybody runs out chasing the dog, trying to get the dog away from the skunk and calling the dog. And the older lady, that's me, in the book I'm referred to as an older lady, shines a flashlight into the woodpile and says, oh, it's a little skunk. And then a man says, oh, he shouldn't be away from his mother. That was my son. And then the boy says, well, we should give him the dog food as our Christmas gift to him. And my son, the man, says, feed a skunk? And the boy said, sure, it'll be his Christmas dinner and our Christmas gift to him. So the mother of the boy says, well, okay, bring the food over. We'll see if he likes it. So Little Skunk is delighted when they set the the dog food right outside the woodpile. So he gingerly comes out and takes a taste and likes it. And everybody says, "Oh, okay." So they're all happy. Everybody's happy. And they go back into the house to have their Christmas dinner. And Little Skunk's mom appears on the horizon and starts walking through the yard and admonishes him a little bit for leaving the house. But she said, I brought some Christmas dinner with me that I found along the road. And the skunk says, well, I have this Christmas dinner too. So they have their first skunk family Christmas present dinner right next to where the family is having their dinner. You can see them through the window, the sliding glass door. And so that's the story.
Wonderful story. It's a great little Christmas story. Is there a Christmas message in it? I guess it's the spirit of giving because the boy wanted to give the dog food to the skunk, right?
Yes. And I think it also encompasses Little Skunk made some mistakes and he could have ruined their Christmas.
Yeah.
But instead of focusing on that, the boy turned it all around by focusing on, and the family, the compassion came in. They started to have compassion for the little skunk. And the boy said, let's just give him the dog food. Let's, as a Christmas present. So it's the whole softening of the Christmas season, soften your heart, give gifts, forgive.
Even to those who might be perceived as a little odious, it's a good
Yes.
idea to give them some gifts as well. Yeah, without a doubt. Well, that's a great story. And this, of course, would be a great short holiday feature as well, whether it's
Yeah.
live action. I guess it wouldn't be live action. I guess animation or claymation or Pixar or something like that. That would be
Yes.
a great little story to tell. We've seen enough of, Rudolph. How many times do we have to watch Rudolph? Every year? We need to see Little Skunk in action, don't you think?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of for children suspense
Mhm.
in humor and lessons.
Sure. Sure. Well, obey your parents. They
Yes.
say don't go out. Don't go out. You could run into trouble.
Yes.
And, I'm sure the kids find it hilarious that Little Skunk stinks up everybody's dinner. I'm sure even at your house, if there were little kids there, they would find that funny that you guys got sprayed by a skunk on Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole house smelled for like a week afterwards. But
Amazing.
living in a warmer climate, I could open up the doors and windows and air it out. And we
Yeah.
just laughed about it. Every time we
Yeah.
thought about it, we laughed about it.
Well, adversity always makes for great stories. When you're going through it, whether the power goes out or the dogs eat your turkey or you get sprayed by a skunk, it's a little bit of a nightmare when it's happening. But then that becomes the Christmas you never forget, right? That's
Yeah,
what's great about things not going perfectly or going as planned, without a doubt.
right,
Yeah.
right. And I think there's also a little message of if someone um, does something that you think ruined your day or something, to have to give them a little mercy, a little grace, and timely giving. Maybe give something back to them, even if it's just a smile, a kind word.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look for the person who might be disruptive. It might not be their fault. They might be going through something. They might just be an odious skunk and that's just how they are, and accepting them as they are and give them a little leeway, give them a little grace there. I think that's a great message for sure. And these illustrations, like your other books that we've talked about, are wonderful. Same artist? Did you collaborate with the same person?
No, because I wanted someone who um, could do outdoor
Hmm.
watercolor very well, and because all this happened outdoors.
Yeah.
And so I found a wonderful artist in England, and his specialty was outdoor, and it did very well with snow, and which I didn't have, but it was outdoors and it was Christmas and watercolor, so I went with him.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I know you have a granddaughter and a grandson. Have you been able to test the book on whether they like Stinky the Skunk?
Yeah, they do.
They do like it. What's their reaction?
Well, my grandson is actually, it's patterned after my family again.
Mhm.
So my grandson is actually the boy, Mac, in the book.
Okay.
And so he was delighted, and my little granddaughter's delighted. I have a book that's written with her in mind now that's about to be published. So she'll be thrilled to be
What
mentioned
book,
in the book.
what book is that one?
It's called Upside Down Owl.
Okay, great. That sounds wonderful as well. What's the message of Upside Down Owl?
Upside Down Owl is an owl is a young owl that likes to be in the daytime, and he likes to hoot and dance and sing on low branches and be seen and have an audience. And that's totally different from most owls who like to be in the night and be hidden in the dark places. And so he has friends who love to come and watch him sing and dance in the daytime and hoot in the daytime on the low branches, and he loves it. And some of the night owls come and they reprimand him, they shame him that this isn't what owls do. So he decides to just hang it up, stay home, stop going out in the daytime, stop singing and dancing, and his smile withers, his dance disappears, his spirit falls. And the same things happen with his friends who go looking for him one night, and they can't find him, but they start wailing because they get lost in the woods at night. And the night owls hear them and come and say, what's going on? What are you doing here at night? Why are you so upset? And they tell him, well, we can't find Oliver, the owl. And we lost our smiles. Our songs dried up. Our dance withered. And the owls realize, oh my gosh, we did that. That was our fault. So they go to Oliver and they tell him, you have to come to your friends. They need you. They're lost without you, and they're lost in the woods. So Oliver rises up from his gloom, fills his lungs, and forgives the owls for what they said, gives them a forgiving nod, and just takes off to his friends. And his friends, when they see him coming, their wails turn to cheers, and the whole forest comes alive, and they sing and dance, and Oliver's back. So the message is, my granddaughter can be very dramatic, and that's who she is. She shouldn't subdue it and try to be like everyone, like somebody else who's very reserved or whatever. And there's a place for her. And when we each take our place and be who we are, we're a gift to the world, to everyone else.
Wonderful, wonderful. If that story is half as good as the story you just told, you got a hit there, because that was wonderful. You just told a mesmerizing story, really filled with wonderful detail and really great. So we'll look forward to the Upside Down Owl. By the way, I heard that owl used to be a real hoot, and then he got depressed. Bum. There we go. Okay. Wonderful. We look forward to that book. The book we've been focusing on today is The Christmas Skunk and the Very Merry, Very Stinky Christmas by Jane Carey. It's a heartwarming and hilarious tale that follows Little Skunk on a wild Christmas adventure, and it is inspired by a true story. Jane, thanks so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you for having me, Logan.
I appreciate your time. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time, this time until next time on Spotlight.